this is going to sound a little crazy, but I was tripping off mushrooms that I was just near, not that I took. And it didn't make sense to me. That was a week ago, about, not quite. But this Sunday, yesterday now, because it's 3:49 a.m., I was with my kids when they were over, and we went for a walk. And while we were going for a walk, a mushroom on the side of the road said it wanted to talk to me. And then it didn't make any sense, but since I heard it say it wanted to talk to me, I grabbed it and I took it home to my mom and dad's, and I knew what my mom was going to say about it because I can sort of read minds, and I'm not trying to develop that ability too much, but I want to somewhat, and I want to know how to direct it to people I want to use it on and people I don't want to use it on, so I have to learn that part of it before I actually develop it more. So anyway, I knew my mom was going to say that she was worried that they were dangerous, but anyway, actually I'll skip all that stuff and just tell you. The mushroom god, basically the mushroom entity, told me that the reason that happened, I did this without mushrooms. I actually talked to the mushroom entity without mushrooms. It's what people would call the DMT entity, but actually it's not the DMT entity. There's an entity for mushrooms. There's an entity for every single living and non-living thing. There's an entity for everything. It sounds weird, but there is. At least to its purest natural form. But anyway, the mushroom entity told me that the reason I could hear that mushroom on the side of the road is because I'm so close to nature now, nature can feel me. And since I'm so close to nature, I can also hear it if I listen. And I was tuned in then when I was walking down the road talking to my kids about being God, and I heard a mushroom talk. Actually, all the trees were talking and stuff too, but since I know people take mushrooms, it seems more believable for me that a mushroom could talk. And actually, I've had trees talk to me, but I wasn't in the mind frame then to understand that everything's really alive. So I thought that was just some weird fluke that I thought I talked to a tree, and I heard stories from the tree god, which would basically be the tree entity, or the mushroom entity would be the mushroom god. And I mean, that sounds sort of crazy, but I don't want to put the word God on everything because it'll make people lessen the word God, and I don't want them to. Although I don't want them to lessen the mushroom god because it's a mushroom and you're a person. A mushroom god is just as important. So the mushroom entity is the god, but use entity and god in that form. When I say mushroom entity or giraffe entity, I mean giraffe god, giraffe mushroom god. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. I don't want to lessen the word, but at the same time, I don't want to lessen the being by not using God, if that makes any sense. Anyway, the mushroom god, fungi entity, told me that basically I can hear nature now. As long as I believe it and tune in, I can hear nature. And that's pretty intense to say. But my kids are with me, and I said I heard a mushroom talk. And later on, the mushroom entity told me why I heard the mushroom talk. And that's why last week, during the week, I was near a bag of mushrooms and I felt it. I was in a house and I felt mushrooms near me. I was driving in my car and I was tripping with the mushrooms because they were next to me. That's weird stuff, man. That's intense stuff. That's aura stuff. My aura has expanded so much that if I have something in my aura, I can sense it and feel it talking to me. And people might be like, well, prove it. What am I going to do? Stand next to a blade of grass and say, oh, the blade of grass is saying blah, 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 blah. That would be silly. So I'm not going to do that. So sorry, people, if they want me to prove myself. That's the whole thing. Proof is the only sin. Because each one of the 7 deadly sins makes that exercise or that action that they call one of the deadly sins a sin or a deadly one because you're trying to prove something by doing it. Think about what I'm saying. You'll understand what I mean. All right. I love y'all.